what we're looking at is your marketing and your sales process to get from a prospect to a proposal. How do we get people who have never heard of our business before all the way to the point of signing up and buying from us? I'm going to break that down, show all of the stages, and show you an automated system that you can put in place to bring those people into your business and convert them into clients. I'm going to show you how you can use AI along every step of that process. Everything is optimized, it's quick, and it's easy to do. First of all, the first thing you create is going to be your lead magnet. Your lead magnet is a piece of content that is super valuable, but you give it away for free in exchange for their name and email address. This piece of content could be an ebook, which is what we're going to look at today. It could be a webinar, it could be a podcast episode, it could be a resource or a checklist, something that's super useful for your clients or your potential clients, something valuable that solves an immediate problem that they have or gives them some sort of quick win or a bit of a boost, or answers a burning question. So it's got to have that value in that it delivers something to them, a solution, a quick fix. It helps them overcome a challenge that they've got. But it wants to be a content that you can create once and it stays relevant, so it's evergreen, so you don't have to keep repeating or renewing that content. You want something that is pretty much evergreen, that you can create it once and then give it away for continuous amounts of time. So you want to create that piece of content, and then what we're going to do is give that away for free in exchange for their name and email address. The point of this system is to gain access to people so we can take them through a bit of a journey. We need to take them through a journey to get them from the point of being a prospect into signing the proposal. Now, some people are going to need a shorter journey than others. Some people are going to download your lead magnet and think, great, that's awesome, I'm going to book an appointment straight away. Some need more warming up. But what the lead magnet allows us to do is capture their contact details so that we can continue that journey. If they saw you on a social media post or they visited your website, they might land on your website, have a look around, and then leave after a few minutes. You have no way of contacting that person to follow up on that. So the lead magnet allows us to capture that contact information so that we can continue to build a relationship and push them along that journey where they become a prospect into a proposal. The first thing I always say is make sure you understand who your ideal client is and have an ideal client profile. Have it written out and have it really crystal clear. Because when you understand the kind of person you're trying to attract, that's going to have an impact on the piece of content that you create to attract them. This is why we use the word magnet. We are attracting the right kind of person for our business. So if you don't really know who you want to work with and you've got this sort of vague sense of let's just bring in anybody and everybody to our business, that's actually less effective and less efficient than having a niche. Because what you're doing is making content that's vague and doesn't actually speak to anyone's genuine pain or problems. When you really understand who your ideal client is, you can create content to attract them that's going to make them feel seen and heard. You can directly address the pain that they're going through, the challenges they have, the circumstances of their particular industry or business or whatever it is that you choose to work with. You can really get relatable with the content. The lead magnet is super powerful, and this is something that you ideally do want to be spending a bit of time getting it right, but we can use AI to make this a very quick process. We can get ideas for the content, what kind of content would work. We can do research around our ideal client. If we're doing a webinar instead of an ebook, we can get it to write us some bullet points or script for the video. We can help with all elements of that using AI. So the lead magnet is the starting point. It's the first thing you're going to make. Next, what we want to build is our opt-in page. This is a piece of content that you give away in exchange for somebody's name and email address. So you need a page where they can do that. This is where you are going to drive people towards with your social media, and if you're doing paid ads or anything else like that, this is where you're going to push people. You're going to push them towards this page. It's going to be a reminder, because they will have already seen in your content about the benefits of this ebook or guide. So on this page, it's going to be a couple of bullet points of the benefits of downloading or signing up for this resource. And it's going to have a box which says input your name and email here. They're going to put their name and email in, and that's going to take them over to the thank you page. So the opt-in page, the purpose of the opt-in page is just to capture those contact details. It's really important that we can maintain that connection with that potential prospect. Capturing the name and email is the most important part of your opt-in page. We don't want any other distractions on that page. When they have signed up and you have got that information, we can invite them to take further action or follow us in other areas. The thank you page is going to thank them, of course, for downloading that resource, or congratulate them and say that's been successful, confirm that it's worked. It's then going to potentially give them the resource. You can do that on the thank you page. You can do that in an email instead, but you're going to give them the resource. And then you're also then going to encourage them to take further action in other areas. So potentially you say, check out our website for more information, or why not follow us on social media? Join our community. Start learning more about whatever the subject is that you're talking about. It may be that at this point you also put on your thank you page a link for them to book an appointment with you, which is eventually where we want to get them to, right? Different people will subscribe and move through the prospect to proposal journey at different rates. Some people may have seen the lead magnet you did, whether that's an ebook, a webinar, a video, anything like that. They may have seen that and thought, wow, this person's amazing, I need to work with this person. So when they land on this thank you page, they might immediately book that appointment or read their lead magnet, which takes them maybe 20 minutes. And then they come back and they think, that's brilliant, I need to book in with that person. Some people will be very quick to make that decision. Other people need a little more time to warm up. So that's why we've captured the name and email. The next stage is to send a confirmation email. We're going to say, thank you for getting this. It's really great that you've got this because you're going to learn X, Y, Z. If you want to learn it more, then these are the other resources that we have available, the website, whatever. You can also put within that to book an appointment if you wanted to as well, and deliver the resource that you have promised in that email. So that's going to be the content of that very first email. We can follow up with more emails. So you can have a generic, standard, what's called a welcome campaign, which anybody joins your mailing list. You send them a series of emails that welcome them to the business. This is what we're about, this is our team, these are our services. Now you can also have what's called a specific campaign, which means you're going to be sending specific information that relates to the tag that you've just given them. So you're going to create a series of emails that relates to that, gives them more information, more value, more resources, further demonstrates your ability to help them in that area, and then also gives them the opportunity to book an appointment with you. So we're moving them along that prospect to proposal journey. We then have the sales meeting. You're going to give them a chance to book an appointment with you. The way you approach this, we teach lots of different things in the Value Pricing Academy. You might have a quick 15-minute call with somebody first. You might go straight into your sales meeting, working out what their pain points are, accentuating that, and then giving them a solution in the presentation of your packages and your services, and go through that sort of sales meeting. It may be that you start out with a 15-minute meeting that just verifies that you're a good fit, and in which case you could create the content around that. So this all happens automatically. So they sign up for the ebook, they get sent these emails automatically. You need to set them up in the first instance, but after that it all happens on automation. They get these emails, they click on one of the links to book an appointment, that goes through automatically. They pick a slot in your calendar, that sets up the Zoom link or Teams link, wherever you like to do your meetings, if it's online. It sets up that link and then sends them the reminder emails, a 24-hour reminder, a 15-minute reminder, and also sends a link to you to say, hey, you've just got an appointment booked in. So from your perspective, the only part of this process that you are working on is the initial setup, but then once it's set up, your focus is just on delivering that sales meeting when it comes through. The first point of contact for you in this system is that initial meeting, whether that's a 15-minute one or you go straight in for the full hour, whatever you want to do to get the information from people. So if you have done the 15-minute one, you can then create more automations that sends them the links and stuff for the next part of the process, the hour-long one where you get that extra information. So as part of that, from prospect to proposal, you also kind of want to have a look at pricing and that sort of side of things. Now, I'm not going to go into detail because this is a massive topic. So that's the system. Let's recap on that. We've got the lead magnet right up at the top. That's what we make first. Before that, you would create social media and various content to promote that lead magnet. You would push that out to people. They're going to land on the opt-in page to get the lead magnet. They're then going to go onto the thank you page, which might give them some more things to do. They're going to receive a confirmation email as well at the same time. That confirmation email is going to deliver the resource to them. You're then going to follow up automatically with a series of emails that are relevant to the content they have just downloaded and encourage them to book a meeting with you. They're then going to turn up to the meeting. You're going to deliver your sales process. You're going to go through the pricing and hopefully you're going to get the client, win the client, do a proposal and go from there. That's the process. And that seems like a lot to set up if you don't have the time because you're working with so many clients already. But this is a really important system to have and it's automatic. Once it's set in the business, you don't need to think about it. You don't need to do anything with it again. I'm going to just bring up ChatGPT because this is the tool that we are going to use primarily to create all of the elements of this system. The first thing I want to mention here is that I've made a project just to show you how I can build upon what I'm creating as I go through. So what I've done is I'm going to go through a series. I've got 9 here. I'm going to go through the different things that I've created, each element of that system, using ChatGPT. And then as I create each element, what I'm doing is I'm making the lead magnet or the wording for the website, whatever it is, and then adding it to my project files. ChatGPT has something to draw on from what I already talked about in a different conversation with them. So rather than having all of that information in one long conversation, which as we know, there is a context window for ChatGPT. So if you are having a really long conversation where you're asking it to make a lead magnet and then asking it to make the opt-in page and then asking it to do whatever else, all in one conversation, it's going to start to forget the earlier stuff. So I like to do it in this way. I break down each kind of individual project that I'm working on and I do it as a different chat. As I make those things, I then download that to a Word document and upload it into the project files so that it has that to refer to. So we're going to start with the first one, which is the lead magnet. All of the prompts today are really basic, really simple. You can do this even if you don't understand prompt engineering. This is using the latest model, which is the 4.5 version. So if you are on the free version, I believe you are still limited to the 4.0 model. So let's get into these prompts then. The first one, super simple. Suggest ideas for a lead magnet to attract my ideal client. I have added to the project files my ideal client profile. So it already has that information about who I'm trying to attract. If I didn't have the ideal client uploaded, I would need to add to my prompt here, suggest a lead magnet to attract my ideal client. This is what my ideal client looks like. They are this age, this gender, they're in this industry, they're interested in these things, these pain points, this is what their goals are, these are the things that they search for. All of that information I would need to add to my prompt. So the better thing to do, make your ideal client profile first, which you can use ChatGPT to help you do, and then upload that to your project file so that it's going to refer to that before it starts doing any of its content creation for you. So I've already uploaded that in there. And I'm now asking it to suggest ideas for my lead magnet that would attract that specific ideal client. Specifically want to attract the client that I want to work with. Based on your ideal client profile, here are several highly targeted and attractive lead magnet ideas to draw in your ideal digital nomadic entrepreneurs. The example that I've uploaded is digital nomads. Number 1, a free guide, top 10 tax-friendly countries for digital nomads in 2025. Number 2 is an interactive tax residency quiz. Where should you pay taxes as a digital nomad? The first one, The benefit is the immediate relevance for nomads looking to optimize their location strategy. The format would be a PDF checklist or mini guide. The second would be an interactive web-based quiz. A case study, how a digital nomad reduced taxes by 50% legally. So if you have a case study like that's powerful to share, then do that. You could do that in a video form or a PDF, it suggests here, PDF or short video. You could do a webinar or a video series avoiding the top 5 tax mistakes every digital nomad makes. So this could be pre-recorded webinar, a checklist. So we've got ultimate pre-travel tax preparation checklist for nomadic entrepreneurs, an ebook, The Digital Nomad's Guide to Tax Saving and Compliance. We have a template pack, so bookkeeping templates for digital nomadic entrepreneurs. So this could be downloadable Excel or Google Sheet templates that helps them to simplify bookkeeping while traveling. Case study compilation, 5 digital nomads who mastered their international tax situation and how you can too. An email mini course, 7-day crash course in tax efficiency for remote entrepreneurs, or a tax calculator, so digital nomad tax savings estimator. That would be massively powerful if you had something like that, a tool or a piece of software that could do something like that. So there's some of the ideas. Now I'm going to say to it, I actually like option 6. So let me see what option 6 was. The Digital Nomad's Guide to Tax Saving and Compliance. And it's an ebook format for this one. So it says, I like option 6. Can you create the outline for that guide in Canvas? The reason that I've said, can you create the outline rather than can you just create the ebook? If you have one long conversation, it starts to forget the stuff to start. If you ask it to create something that is a really large output, it's going to not be as efficient. So the best thing to do is to get it to create an outline first, and then take each of those chapters that it's going to create and go and individually ask it to write those chapters so that it has more of an opportunity to flesh out each element. And I've asked it to do this for me in Canvas so that it opens it into this side-by-side profile where I've got my conversation on the left and the thing that it's writing on the right-hand side. So it's made an outline for me with the title, The Digital Nomad's Guide to Tax Saving and Compliance. It's then suggested the introduction, why managing taxes effectively is critical for digital nomads, common challenges faced by nomadic entrepreneurs, overview of benefits of tax efficiency and compliance. It's then suggested a series of chapters for me. So chapter 1, understanding tax residency. Chapter 2, top tax-friendly countries for digital nomads. Chapter 3, navigating international tax treaties. Chapter 4, structuring your business for maximum tax efficiency. So we've got 9 chapters there, and then a conclusion and an appendix as well. What I would recommend that you do is at the end of your lead magnet, you have a page or a section that is about the next step they can take with you. That would be visit our website, look at our social media, or book an appointment with us. All of this information is super great, but if it's too much for you to manage, we're here to help you. You can book an appointment and we can work out your situation for you. So you can put a page at the end of the ebook to do that exactly. Now that we've got the outline, I can then ask it to flesh out each of those chapters individually. The entire thing, when combined, should be around 3,000 words. There's however many chapters there, and then the introduction and conclusion, so maybe about 300 words per section. It started a new Canvas file, which, by the way, if you didn't know this, if you're having a conversation with ChatGPT, you can get it to create multiple different Canvas files. And if I just press the X on the conversation that I'm having so that I go back to my chat rather than having that file open, in the top corner, we've got this little document icon that says number 2, because I've got 2 files here. And it shows me the different files that I've been working on. So if I was to go through and make each of those chapters, get ChatGPT to write me each of those chapters, I can have 10 or so different Canvas files in here. I can then copy and paste what it's making into a Word document and build my ebook. You can then edit it yourself and add whatever flair you want to. So that's the ebook. We've started with the first one. I have grabbed the ebook outline that I got it to make, and I uploaded that into my project files. So if I come back to my project, there's this button here that says project files. I've uploaded already my ideal client profile. I've now uploaded my ebook outline. If I just click add files, find that file. So I've uploaded the outline. You could go and make your full ebook and then upload that, because what that's going to help us with is now when we go to create the content for the pages around that, the website pages, it has the context of the ebook, so it understands what it's promoting. Now I'm going to create the website pages where we want people to visit. The opt-in page. Attached the outline of the lead magnet I'm creating for my ideal client profile. Can you create the wording for the opt-in or landing page? What I've done in this one is I've copy and pasted the wording from the outline into this chat. Rather than saying attached is the outline, you could say in your project files is the outline. Look at this first and then do me this job. Generally speaking, it should look at its project files before it starts. So I've asked it to create the opt-in page for me. Again, it's opened this in Canvas for me, which is nice because I can see it on the right-hand side. We've got this nice layout. We've got a title, free ebook, The Digital Nomad's Guide to Tax Savings and Compliance. Simplify your taxes, maximize your freedom. Tired of complicated international taxes eating into your profits and peace of mind? This quick, actionable guide is your key to stress-free tax management tailored specifically for digital nomads like you. In this guide, you'll quickly learn how to choose the best tax-friendly locations. We've got a series of benefits here. Easily establish tax residency, avoid double taxation, select the ideal business structure, effortlessly manage bookkeeping, etc. It's gone through all of the key benefits. Stop worrying about tax mistakes and start enjoying your global freedom and profits. Grab your free copy now and confidently navigate your taxes, keep more of your earnings, and fully embrace your nomadic journey. There was not much I would change there. I think it's a very good layout. We've got a headline and then a subhead. We've got a little bit of a paragraph about, is this your pain point? Therefore, we can solve that. These are all of the benefits you're going to get from that resource. And then download your guide. So I think that's a nice layout to the opt-in. I didn't give it any information on how I wanted that laying out. It knows because of the information it has access to. Now, if you wanted it to lay it out in a specific way because you know this format works better, you can give it that structure in the prompt. You can give it an example. Here's an example of an opt-in page. Can you write one that would work for my lead magnet? We now have the opt-in page. And you can then grab the information from that and you can either pass that over to a designer if you want. There are lots of software available now that helps you build a landing page, a lead page, an opt-in page, a bounce page, a squeeze page. There are lots of tools available to help you build those at a basic, easy level. It's quite literally drag and drop. So I'll drag and drop a text box, I'll put that in there, I'll put an image over there. They're very easy to use. You could use ChatGPT to research which tool is best for that. Now on a new Canvas file, creating the wording for the thank you page afterwards. I've given it a little bit of information about what I want that to do. Thank you for downloading the Digital Nomad's Guide to Tax Savings and Compliance. Your guide is on its way. Check your email inbox shortly. Be sure to add us to your contacts so you never miss important updates and helpful tips. What's next? Follow us on social media for regular insights, updates, and practical advice. Need personalized help? Schedule a free consultation today to discuss your unique tax situation with our expert team. Connect the two pages so that when they opt into one, they get sent to the thank you page. So next up we have the confirmation email. It now has my ideal client profile, it has the lead magnet, it has the information that is on the pages. It can now create the confirmation email with all of that context. The email should confirm their sign-up is successful and deliver the resource. It should also remind them of the benefits and encourage them to read it. This will be the beginning of a specific follow-up campaign, so it can also tease at what will be shared in the following emails, as well as remind them of things like whitelisting their contact details. It should be around 500 words and the tone should be fun and friendly. So that's pulling in a couple of prompt engineering bits of information there, giving it extra context and also giving it the length, the tone. If you have a writing style guide, you can input it as your project files. Let's have a look at that. It's done it again for me in Canvas, so I can open that and see it as a document. The subject line is, your guide to tax freedom is here, dive in. Hi there, Nomad friend. Great news, your download was successful and your copy of the Digital Nomad's Guide to Tax Saving and Compliance is waiting for you right here. Click here to download. You're officially one step closer to stress-free, money-smart nomad living. This handy guide will walk you through exactly how to choose the absolute best tax-friendly spots around the globe, effortlessly navigate residency rules, structure your business perfectly, simplify your bookkeeping, and just reminding it of the reasons why, reminding the new subscriber of the reasons why they downloaded it and why they should now go and read it. Make sure you don't miss any juicy insights and practical tips we have in store, please add our email to your contact list or whitelist us, because nobody likes finding gold in their spam folder. So if for you that language is a little bit too relaxed and you would prefer something a bit more professional, then you just change that in the prompt. If you have any immediate questions and want tailored advice, we're just a click away. You can book your personal consultation here. I reminded it, always include a PS in every email that highlights the main point of the email. We know that with emails, the most read thing obviously is the subject line, so it's really important that you get the subject line right, because that's what makes them click it to open it. The next most read thing is the PS at the bottom, because that's normally a summary. So people skip to the bottom to say, okay, what's this about? Oh, it's about that. All right, okay, I might read it in full detail then. That's generally what people tend to do. That's the confirmation email. You would then set that up in your system. We use MailChimp, and you can give it a trigger. So when something happens, this email is sent out. So when somebody joins your list, when somebody subscribes for that lead magnet, send them this email. You can then take that to the next level and create all of the follow-up emails. I could take the copy from that confirmation email, add it to my project files. With the information in your project files about the ideal client and the lead magnet, can you create a 5-part email campaign that follows on from the download of this guide? I already have the confirmation email created here, so you can use this as the structure. Let's start by giving a brief outline of the 5 emails and what each one will contain. Let's make sure that it's in keeping with that so that there's consistency. Then I've asked it to create me 5 emails. Email 1, it's giving me a bit of a summary of what it's going to include in that email first. So the subject line is going to be your next tax saving move. The purpose is to reinforce the value of the ebook, ensuring the reader takes immediate action. The content is a brief recap of the ebook, quick actionable tips, and a prompt to bookmark key sections. Email 2 is going to be around client success stories. So it's made one up, but perhaps you give it some information so that you can fill that email out with actual success stories from your business. Email 3 is overcoming common tax mistakes. Email 4 is practical tools and tips. Email 5 is the direct offer and call to action, so directly suggesting that they book a consultation. So now that it's given me that outline, we're doing the same thing that we did there with the ebook, where I don't say just make me the emails. I'm saying give me the outline first, and then we can go and flesh those out, because it's just going to do a better job when it's only got to handle one email at a time. It should follow the structure of the previously provided email confirmation. So I'm just giving it that extra bit of information. When I open this Canvas file, I now have the first email. Hey Nomad friend, when you set up your emails in your system, whether that's MailChimp or whatever it is, you can add personalization. You can add a keyword that is first name, and it will bring through the first name of that person as long as they put their name in when they subscribed. It will bring through that information and put it into their email so that it's more personalized. You don't have to type that in on every email. It will just bring that through automatically. So that might be a nice way to personalize that email. You've got your hands on the Digital Nomad Guide to Tax, Saving and Compliance. Brilliant first move. Now let's jumpstart your journey to stress-free, money-smart nomad living with some easy, actionable wins. Quick win number 1, lock in your ideal tax residency. Did you know that simply spending 183 days in the right country can dramatically slash your tax bill? Skim chapter 1 now for practical tips on establishing residency without hassle. So it's kind of re-pointing them back to the guide. Did you know this really cool thing? We actually talked about that in the guide. Have you read that yet? So it's pointing them back towards the guide with that email. Now, of course, we don't have enough time to go into email strategy, but this is a great starting point. It's included re-pointing them back towards the guide, which will show your authority, right? And show that value that you can give them if they consume that guide. And then at the end here, we have book your free personal consultation. So what I would then do is say, okay, that's great. Now on to email number 2 in a new Canvas file. It's then going to open me a new file and I can work through the next email. In Canvas, by the way, you can click directly on to the email and make edits and make changes. So I can type in there and make changes. If you wanted to improve those emails, I wanted to show this as an option. So what you can do is get ChatGPT to, as you're going through, you could break this down and go into a little bit more depth of each thing you do. So when you're making those emails, maybe you come to ChatGPT and you ask it for how can I optimize these emails before I even start making them. So I've asked ChatGPT here in a different chat, List the essential elements of a high converting email nurturing sequence for accounting firms. So what it's going to do is it's going to go and do the research. I made sure I clicked the search button here so that it was doing live website research. It's told me a couple of things about email sequences that I might want to make sure I include. Define a clear objective, segment your audience if you can, provide valuable educational content, build trust through consistent communication, incorporate social proof, plan a strategic email sequence. Your first one might be the welcome email, then do the educational content where you provide valuable insights, then do a service highlight where you detail your specific services, then do a client success story, and then do the call to action. So that might be the order that you do your 5 emails. Test and optimize and then utilize automation tools as well with that information in mind. Or I take that and upload it to my project files. Here's some great information about how to write emails. And then when I do the chat with ChatGPT, I'll say, refer to this file in your project files and then create me the emails. Another thing that you can get it to do as part of this, you're going to need to set up all those automation tools. Ask ChatGPT for a step-by-step guide on how to set these things up in different tools. You could do research on what tools are great. If you've picked your tools and you're happy and you want to go with those, you can ask something like this. When a subscriber receives the follow-up campaign, it will encourage them to book an appointment. I use MailChimp, Calendly, and Zoom. Can you outline for me with a step-by-step guide how to set up automatic appointment scheduling? Step 1, prepare your tools. Make sure you've got an account for MailChimp, Calendly, and Zoom. Step 2, connect Zoom to Calendly. Log into your Calendly account, click Integrations. Find and select Zoom from the list. Click Connect Zoom and log in with your Zoom credentials. Authorize the connection. So it's giving you a step-by-step, click this button, go here, do this, visit this page. If you want extra help to get that set up, you can do something like that. Ask ChatGPT for help in setting up those automations. So then you're on to your sales meeting agenda. I recommend that you have a systematic approach. Have a meeting agenda where you tick off all of the items so you can be sure you are checking everything off, doing everything properly, and making sure every point gets seen to. Now, again, this could be dependent on how you're going to approach that, whether you want that first one to be a 15-minute, just a get to know you, or do you want that first one to be a 45-minute to an hour where you get all of their background information and you go through some stuff with them. So the prompt I've given it here, create a meeting agenda for a sales call or discovery call with potential new clients. It should be around 45 minutes to an hour, and it should cover their background in business and current situation and pain points. It should thoroughly communicate the value of our services and go through the pricing process, for which we use value pricing from Mark Wickersham. So when I do this, I will turn on the search feature. If I say we want to use the learnings of Mark Wickersham, then it's going to go and find that information for you and apply that. So it's not as perfect as if you used one of our workbooks, but what it's doing is it's going and looking at all of our content online, all of our YouTube videos, all of the social media, the things on our websites, the resources that we have. It's going and looking at that information very briefly, but it's doing that and then applying that to your sales meeting. So if you wanted to follow that approach, give it that extra bit of instruction. Make sure you're following Mark Wickersham's content. Before you create the agenda, gather as much research as you can from Mark Wickersham about the sales meeting process, the fact find and the value pricing process, using effective pricing to help structure the meeting system. So we've then got the agenda that it's made based on what research is able to find about Mark Wickersham's approach to this as well, which we teach in the Value Pricing Academy. So you do a welcome call and call purpose. The purpose of today's meeting is to see if we're a good fit and to walk you through how we help clients. Then do a fact find, ask questions about their background, their lifestyle, work setup, pain points, goals and aspirations. Educate and position your value, and then walk through the pricing options, bring in another tool to help with that. Q&A and objection handling, if you're getting to this point of doing the pricing there and then, and it's not an initial 15-minute discovery call, that would be a different prompt, but you can get it to help create this system for you so that you have something to follow, okay? So that's pretty much all of the system. Imagine if you had to write all of that content from scratch yourself. It would take you weeks to do that. Whereas if you follow this process, you use all those prompts and you're pretty quick with it, you could do this in an afternoon. You could have it set up in an afternoon, or you could have at least the content to pass on to somebody else to build those pages. Hopefully that's been a good informational session for you. Thanks everybody for being here, and we will see you on a session soon. Thanks everybody, and bye for now. Have a great week.